Welcome everyone. I'm just making a video here. I want to show you this. This is a Tensegrity structure that I'm getting students to make in class, and all you need is some chopsticks, and I really like some color-coded rubber bands because I think the color coding in here is important. Not only does it look good, but it serves a functional purpose as well. So I use this when I'm teaching forces, and we draw arrows to indicate forces. We might even teach students to draw bigger arrows for bigger forces and the directions of all those forces, and maybe input numbers, how many newtons that force equates to. But forces are invisible things, we can't see them, but at least when we make these structures, students get a sense of how the forces are acting against each other. So we've got compression in the skewer here, or the not skewer, the chopstick, and tension in the rubber bands here holding this structure together. So do some research. They're really interesting structures, and I'm not going to spend much time here talking about it. Apart from where I see the applications, I see the applications here when I'm teaching forces. I could also use this in mathematics when I was teaching networks, for example. I can treat the ends as vertices and all the rubber bands as edges, and look at different paths through a network. That'd be a good application for it. And also I see an application in sort of helping to understand how our body works with bones and muscles, because what are we basically, our bones are under compression and our muscles are under tension, and that's how we move around. So from a biomechanical point of view, there's a lot of interesting stuff here. So just to show you, what have I got? I paid $5 for those chopsticks. There's about 200 of them there. And I've got some rubber bands here. Previously I've made this with the natural coloured rubber bands, and what I find is, particularly for younger students, they have a little bit of a problem sorting out what goes where later on when you build this structure, because everything looks the same. So I just encourage you, I think the rubber bands cost me $14 and the chopsticks cost me $5, so I see I'm getting out of this activity for, wouldn't be more than 50 cents per student for a week's worth of science. So for me, that's really economical. Where am I going to start? I'm reaching all over the place here and grabbing things. I start the students with this structure here. I get them to build this with their natural coloured rubber bands, because eventually they'll come in here with a pair of scissors and cut them. Okay, it's really important to see how, I'm hoping the camera picks it up as I turn it around, how each pair of bamboo chopsticks, how they nest inside one another, because they're going to pull apart, and they've got to be laid out in a certain way here. So having built this, the next thing is to slowly pull it apart. Like, you don't need to put the rubber bands on here really tight. I think 3 times and I put them on. So what you're going to do next, and what the students are going to do, is pull it apart. So, and I think I'm making this video to show teachers first off, aren't I, so to how to do this. So we're going to need those chopsticks slowly pulled apart, and we're going to keep those rubber bands in reserve because they're going back on there eventually. So what's happening next is that we need 3 rubber bands there. I've just interleaved those rubber bands, and that's kind of simple job. You just watch this, you just lay one over the other and pull it through, and that will form a reef knot in there. Okay, do that both ends, and then you've got that. And then you pull that tight. Pull those tight, make those knots small. And what we're going to do is this middle bit is going to be wrapped around tight around the end of the chopstick. And these two end bits will keep them free so we can use them to pull on and tie knots in either end. But we'll get to that in a moment. So all I've got here is just a chopstick just to show you what to do. So I'm just going to hold this up into the camera, and all you really need to do is hold one end and really tight, keep the tension on there, wind it around, and then you've got your knot there where my finger is there. Now I'm just going to twist that and stick it over the end and sort of tie it off. Now it stays there. So I say to students, if you can tie your shoelaces, you can build this. And if you can tie a knot in a rubber balloon, you can do this. So here I am with the other one, trying to keep it out of the way, use my fingers to keep it out of the way. And now I'm going to grab this, twist it around, and put a knot in there and loop it over the end. So now my two rubber bands are sticking out there free, and they're towards the end. I need to leave a little bit at the top here just to hook the next bit over. So that's about what I want. All right, so that's got to happen on both ends, and it's got to happen for each pair of chopsticks. So what we eventually end up with is a pair of chopsticks. I've used green. See, I've got rubber bands all exactly the same on each end. I've got the two natural coloured rubber bands holding that together, pretty loose because I need to put the sticks between there. So what I'm going to do now is, I've got an orange one here as well, all exactly the same. I'm just going to stick this guy in the middle here to help build my structure again. Alright, so I've done that. And now I've got my third set, and I'm going to put them through at 90 degrees through here. So I'll do that now. Just shove them through the chopsticks there. And that's why I want to leave those loose so I can get them through quite easy. It's not a hard job. Line them all up, and now these rubber bands here, all looks a bit messy. I just grab the rubber band and put it over the ends. Don't catch the blue ones in there, and just another one on that end, and it holds it all. And then I'll do the same on the other end. And what do we got? We'll put that together, and here we go. 1, 2, and a third one around. Now that just keeps everything tidy, and that's where I want to be. Looks messy at this stage. Looks like a real mess. But what we're going to do now, and the colour coding is important here, I might just grab some green ones here. What I want to do with each stick now is line up, or get the same rubber bands on each stick, and I'll see if I can do it in front of the camera here. I'm going to get the ends, I'm all thumbs here, but I want to get the ends and just tie a knot, and it doesn't have to be, it's just like a shoelace knot really. It can be a granny knot, can be a reef knot, depends on how good you are with your knots, but I want to leave, don't pull it too tight enough so it won't come undone, but I'm hoping you can see I've got two little loops on the end there, and what I'm going to do is lift that up and put it between the two sticks here, so nothing gets caught up, nothing's in the way. So hopefully you can see it's just sitting inside of there and it's out of the way. Now I'll do one more. No, I won't. I'll go to this model here, save some time. Can you see how I've gone around there and I've tied them all together and I've sat them between the sticks. Alright? Now those little loops that I talked about are really important, because what I'm going to do now is pull this up and sit this over the ends. Those two little loops. I'm just going to sit them up over the ends here, and I'm going to go around the entire structure, just lifting them up and sitting them. See, I've got them stretched out now. I'm going to turn it up and do the other green ones and just put them over the top. And if everything's sitting in the right spot, nothing's crossing over each other. That's important. We don't want anything trapped under a set of rubber bands. So there we go. We've got that, and we've got a few more to do, and the setting out's important. If I can set everything out nice and slow and make sure it's all right and nothing's trapped in here, I can just come along and put these guys over the end. And I've got enough on the end here for it to sit on, so I'm nearly done here. So this step hasn't taken too long. It's a bit of a fiddly one. Try getting the rubber bands on to each stick and then tying them together. But this step is quite quick, and I thought I was going to pause the video here, but I just might keep rolling and just try and keep everything together. There's more tension coming on here. It's a bit harder to do, but we're almost there. So lifting this guy up here, this is the last one, sticking him on, and I'm done. I need a pair of scissors now, so just have a stop and have a look at that. What I'm going to do now is that the natural coloured rubber bands in here, I'm going to get a pair of scissors, and I've got to be careful now because the scissors are sharp, and I want to come in here and just cut the natural coloured rubber bands, and they're going everywhere over the floor, but it doesn't matter. This is all going to spring apart in a moment and create the final structure. So, one more. Alright, so you can see that coming apart now. And so we've got our final Tensegrity structure right here. So, like always, this is a video. You can pause it and rewind it and have a look at things again and go through it slowly, step by step. There's probably too much to take in one go there. So, but I think this is a great little project for students. I think it's a STEM project. They're building something. They're doing some engineering. The more you research it, these structures are real structures, and they have a lot of different applications. So hopefully that video was helpful, and hopefully you get in there and do a similar sort of project with your students. Thank you.